Hey kids, it's Malachi here, making a little video here as he's laying in bed. It's about, I don't know, 9:15 in the morning. Anyway, oops, dropped my phone. Oh shit, that's upside down. Yeah, anyway. Alright, sitting here just going through, searching the zone on the phone while I'm bored. And, you know, I don't really pay attention to a lot of people's threads anymore. I just play in the shout box and then the off topic. I don't really look at people's projects every now and then, but once every so often I peek through and see what can be done. Anyway, I ran into was it Phutures? Poter? I don't know what the hell how you pronounce your name, but whatever. On in your Hawaii-stani pineapple land out there, and I don't know. Anyway, and I'm sitting here reading your little diatribe, we'll call it, about your travails with trying to replace. You say it's the oil. Amy, shh. I'm doing something. Thank you. Oh boy, my wife and daughter are running through the house like retards. Anyway, you're trying to. I think you're misnaming something. You're calling it the oil pump cover. I believe you're talking oil sump cover, which is the oil pan. I don't know, maybe this is some sort of weird Spanish, Frenchy, Portuguesian that they speak in Hawaii. I don't know. All I know is I believe you're just talking about the oil pan. Anywho, okay, pro tip, one thing. The reason why people's oil pans leak and valve cover gaskets leak and every other freaking seal in there is because you're getting blow-by. That's the number one reason why your engine leaks. So you replace one gasket, you get it to stop leaking there, the oil goes through the next weakest gasket. And you'll constantly be chasing oil leaks forever, just so you know. Matter of time before you start replacing every other seal in there. And in the end, when the real cause of your seal leaking is the seal that's leaking on your pan pistons. You know, those rings? That's usually the case of what's the real cause of your problem. But once again, digression is a problem I have in my videos. Anyway, now I'm just going off of pure memory and everything. Looks like you finally eventually figured out how to get it all apart. Now, when putting it back in, number one, yeah, sure, you can use your fancy gasket stuff or whatever the hell you put on there if you want. I don't even buy gaskets anymore unless they're like 99 cents on Rock Auto under closeout price. Your better bet, is this still, yeah, it's still recording. Just RTV the shit. It works just freaking fine. Factory did it. You can do it. You'll be alright. The next thing, the little broken off stud that's in there, just grab it with some vice grips. It should really unscrew. The next thing is also, when it said 10 pounds of torque, it might not really meant 10 pounds. Maybe it meant 10 Nm or whatever the hell it is, which is like a fractional amount, or 10 inches, not 10 feet of torque. You know what I mean? There's actually a difference. There's a different torque value. It's like 1/12. Myself, I don't use a torque wrench on that because, well, you don't need a torque wrench to do that. You grab your socket by hand and you tighten it by hand. You just twist your wrist and you know and you get an idea how tight it is. I've broken those bolts off before, but that was usually because I wasn't paying attention and I used like air tool of some sort and it just too much torque. But they come right out. Once the head's broken off, there's no tension on the bolt and it just unscrews real smoothly. So don't sweat that. These are not the most difficult vehicles in the world to work on. No matter what you might think, just wait till you get an RS on your hands and you have to fix something. You think it's fucking hard to fix an XS? Yeah, you got no freaking clue, buddy. The clusterfuck of stupidity that went into the Isuzu engineers on that car is just mind-blowingly, what the were they thinking? I pulled out a probably good 25 pounds worth of freaking brackets and bolts and extra shit that they had in there, and my engine bay is still crowded as hell. I mean, I stripped it down to the bare minimum, eliminating all kinds of coolant and vacuum lines and emissions and every other freaking thing, and there's still a ton of crap in that engine bay. So, don't sweat it. Pulling the front and rear motor mounts, you're not unsafe in any way. I wouldn't even have a freaking jack stand underneath the engine or transmission. I'd just let it be. One thing I would have done if it was me in my car in this situation, where if I was the exact same situation as you, where I'm sitting there trying to replace the oil pan gasket, I'd have bought a set of cheap freaking main bearings and some maybe main bearings, but at least rod bearings off of Rock Auto. While it's all apart, it's fucking cake to change them, and just do it. I can tell you pretty much how to do it, but just while you're there, it ain't much extra work, and just something that gets done. Get you an idea of how much wear. You'd be surprised. They're probably pretty fucked up by now. Those you'll want to torque back on right. Unfortunately, and this is where it gets really, really crappy, is I tried torquing mine once to the exact torque, and my rod stud stretched. I was really surprised. But don't worry, Bill at IsuzuPerformance.com, he actually has performance piston connecting rod bolts kit, and they're only like, $900 or something, so you can try that too. Billy, you homo, but you're not gay, you're just gay as fuck. And by Billy, I don't mean Billy in St. Louis, I mean like a Billy in another town, because, whatever. Oh, yeah, I'd hate to be sued for defamation of character, because, So, hopefully, this little bedside video, and, if that doesn't help you, you can always come to my bed, and we can cuddle, and I can make you feel better about owning an Isuzu, because, owning an Isuzu is hard, and fixing them is hard. I'm trying to think if there's any. Oh yeah, hey cheese, if you lost that fucking back bracket between your engine and transmission, no, it's not super detrimental, but if you have a 1.6, I'm pretty sure your transmission mount actually uses one of those bolt holes. I don't know if it's a factor or not, maybe not. Either way, yeah, you're probably going to want that. I would if it was me. The front to rear cross bolt, or cross member, I don't know, yeah, pretty much how Marshall said to do it is kind of right. Myself, I usually undo the rear motor mount bolt, through bolt, and drop the 4 through the K-frame and through the radiator support, and then when it swings down on the dog bone, then undo the dog bone. Putting it up is almost the same, except for I do the dog bone last. Do the front and rear 4 bolts into the subframe and radiator core support, then do the rear motor mount, and lastly do the dog bone. It has the most amount of slop and fuck-up-itude you can add into it, so yeah. So, hope you're all doing good, and I guess peace out, bitches.